Hey, what's up, everybody? Andrew Rogers here, the host of the WOSHL podcast. This is episode number 3. WOSHL podcast brought to you by VMF Sportswear and Apparel. It's great to have them aboard, and man, they're doing some mighty fine work there, as evidenced by my WOSHL podcast sweater with the fancy skate lace taping. I love it. It's fantastic, honestly. It's fantastic. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's all coma filled from the Thanksgiving weekend. It was filling, to say the least. But great time to be thankful. And hopefully everybody got to see family and enjoy nice times with their respected families. And you know what? Yeah, hope it was great. And you know what? We saunter on. WOSHL week 3 is almost upon us here as we're 2 weeks into the season now. And boy, what a 2 weeks it's been. It's been pretty crazy. Big surprise out of the gate. Strathroy Jets 3-0. That's pretty unbelievable. Good for them. I mean, they're doing awesome. They're doing some really good things. They've scored 5 goals a game and they're 3-0. Impressive. Petrolia Squires, 20 goals in 2 games, and then they get a dose of reality from their old rivalry, the Tillsonburg Thunder. But like I say, guys, great weekend. We're going to recap it all. We're also going to get you teed up for this upcoming weekend. A lot of great games on the sched, and we look forward to it as it's week number 3 in the WOSHL season. We're also going to give you an update on our power rankings for the WOSHL League and give you the 3 stars from this past week. We also have 2 dynamite interviews on this week's edition of the podcast. We're going to dub this one, let's see, what is it? WOSHL Podcast Captaincy Edition. You'll understand when you see our guests, Chris Donnelly of the Delhi Flames, who had an unbelievable weekend. We'll get to those highlights in a minute, and we'll have Dylan Denemy of the Tilbury Bluebirds, also captain Dylan Denemy, I should say. And he guided their team to a win, their first of the season. So, like I say, jam-filled from all this past weekend, and we want to get you to the highlights and the recap, so we're going to do that right now. Our first recap comes from the Petrolia Squires and the Woodstock Lakers. Petrolia continue to assert their dominance on the WOSHL League for a second consecutive game, winning by a score of 10-2. This time taking it over the Lakers. Woodstock falls to 0-2, Petrolia to 2-0. Corey Pauly with the hat trick, 2, 3, and 4 on the season. Singles from Thomas Moxley, Adam Arsenault, Zach Van Eck, Kyler Keating, Jesse Ferguson, and Ryan Trottier. Over for the Woodstock Lakers, them getting goals first of the years from Hunter Dubecki and Brady Schmidt. Sean Parker getting the victory for Petrolia, while Josh Rule gets the loss for the Lakers. 10-2 the final. Next up, from Tilbury, the Tilbury Bluebirds, their second straight home game to start the season. They defeat the Orangeville Blitz, who come into Tilbury, and Tilbury takes care of business, 7-2, notching their first victory of the WOSHL season. Over on the Orangeville side, they dropped to 0-2. Scoring for Orangeville in this one, number 10, Joshua Miller with his first, and number 7, Matlock Bobechko with his second. Ryan Mantle gets a loss in his season debut. He is 0-1. Over on the Tilbury side, great efforts from all, including number 15, Travis Winkworth, who gets 2 in his season debut. Josh Main gets 2 for the Bluebirds, number 13. And Eric Winter, number 61, with the hat trick, goals 1, 2, and 3. Starting in net for Tilbury, Ryan Polidori, last year's outstanding goaltender of the year. He moves to 1-0 on the season. Final from Tilbury, 7-2.
That'll get us lined up for tonight. Your Tilsonburg Thunder. This is their first game of the regular season, so no record thus far for the Thunder. Hopefully looking to make that a 1-0 in the record today. And the Petrolia Squires come into town with a 2-0 record. They have already started the season hot. We are ready for hockey. It is McQueen, Quoto, and Thompson. Harris, quick outlet pass to Marsh. And he comes, that was Hackett. In front, Sagrot with the save. And he holds on, no further play.
Nice save by Sagrot there. It was a big save in the moment that he needs it, where we've got 12-14 left in the first period, and the Thunder rolls here. We're just going to watch them and see how they do as this game continues on.
Absolutely, Gavin, that was a great stop. Hopefully we get all those technical issues figured out. As I said, it's an honor to be able to do this game alongside Mr. Gavin Michaels, a legendary broadcaster. I've learned a lot from him. Abraham will take a shot. It's down into the corner after it was blocked aside. McQueen, look to the middle, hoping to find his man. He can, and look out, Pauly is sprung. Here comes Corey Pauly, in on Sagrot, moves, scores. Corey Pauly, we talked about it together in the pregame. Gavin, he's a tough player, and he just showed you right there why.
Thunder try to clear it, and they do. Now they're going after the puck. It's into the corner, taken there by Quoto, and shoots, scores! McQueen gets the goal. What a goal! Quoto had the puck, and it was sent out front, and waiting there was McQueen. What a beautiful goal.
Absolutely beautiful way to score the first goal of the season. And who other than Jamie McQueen, the best player on this team. He got the loudest cheers in the pregame warm-up. They're a really good, talented line. And the officials are going to make you work if you're going to get a call from that line.
Puck is to the point. There's a shot. Loose in front. Shoot. Scores! Nice goal. The puck lay there, and then they finally got to it. And it was Hutchison who got his first goal of the season. Nice goal.
What a beautiful backhander there by Spencer Hutchison, as we mentioned. Former captain of the GOJHL St. Thomas Stars, so fairly local boy. Keep your foot on the gas, and let's try to get a third goal before the end of this period, as we're at 3 minutes and 13 seconds.
Scores! You said that perfectly. I think Redbury got the goal. The puck went in front of the net, and I think it was tipped, but I'm not sure if Redbury's going to get credit for it. Actually, I think the person who's it looked like McGuffin's going to get credit for it. So McGuffin must have deflected, didn't quite get to Redbury, and just went in the net. So we'll wait for the announcement. No penalty, so that's good. So here we go. We have 2:58 remaining. Another goal would be nice. There's a shot. Chris McGuffin got the goal. That's great. McGuffin got the goal. Redbury, there's a shot. Scores! A very quick goal. The puck was loose here, and the defense didn't pick it up, and a very quick shot.
Youngster Forsyth in the middle. Redbury to McQueen. McQueen steers in. Left wing. Drops back. Thompson, shot saved by Campbell. Now it's Redbury. Swings it along the back wall. Finds McQueen. McQueen patiently looks. Forsland shot. Score!
Yes!
Jamie Forsland! His first of the season, his first as a Thunder. What a pass from Jamie McQueen. And the Thunder restore a 2-goal lead. Chips it high in the air. And it's taken away by Marsh. Marsh plays it to an open wing. And Knotts plays it further. There it's picked up by Fitzmaurice. In. Here he comes. Pass across. Shot. Score!
No!
What a shot and what a play from Mitch Fitzmaurice. And there you are, Spencer Hutchison, his second of the game. And the Thunder lead 5-2. And you know what that means, folks? It's a Domino's 5-for-5 night. 3 medium, 3 topping pizza with the 5th goal of the game. And a beauty from Spencer Hutchison. Side wall, slot, tries a pass. But ultimately it does find the stick of McCormick in neutral ice. Look out. Squires might have numbers. It's played into the middle. Here they come. Harris shoots, and he scores. TJ Harris takes advantage of an ill-advised change there from the Thunder penalty kill. And just like that, it's a 5-3 game. And as that clock winds down to 0, your Tillsonburg Thunder win their first contest of the season against the historic rival, the Petrolia Squires. Final score tonight, your Thunder 5 and the Squires 3. Final shots on goal, Squires 30, Thunder 28.
Now a chance now for Mitch Britton. Mitch Britton using his speed on the backhand, scores! Mitch Britton ties the game! On a floating backhand that GoPro never saw. And phones around the province just lit up. Hunter Monkhouse is in there trying to disrupt. So is Randell. Shot towards the net, deflected, scores! Justin McIntyre takes advantage of the power play. And it's 5-4 Jets. Sends it down, blocked. Amos gonna take it into the zone, offsides waved off, and the Strathroy Jets survive. They maintain a perfect 3-0 record. The Woodstock Lakers gave it all they had. They fall to 0-3 and lose their first game in Woodstock.
Next up, we head over to Dunnville, the Dunnville Arrows with their home opener at the Dunnville Memorial Arena, where they followed up the last week's thrilling victory, a 6-4 victory over the Tilbury Bluebirds, welcoming in the defending champion Stratford Fighting Irish. Irish coming out victorious in this one with their season debut, 6-3 the final over Dunnville. For the Irish, a couple goals from Captain Ray Robbins, number 13 Matt Granger with a single, Sean O'Brien, Cooper Leach, and Ty Campbell also with their first goals of the season. Over on the Dunnville side, the captain Tom Longland gets his first of the year, as well as number 19 Connor Schmaltz. For Matt Rugrock, and number 13, he gets his third goal of the season. For Stratford, starting in goal, Darren Smith, he gets the victory, 1-0 on the year. He only allows in 3. While on the other side for Dunnville, Jesse Schumann falls to 1-1 after allowing 6 against Stratford. Final score in this one, 6-3 Irish. like I said, guys, it was crazy. It was honestly nuts. Big ups to the Delhi Flames, though. First dub in a really, really long time since the count, like a first dub in 2023, which is wild. First one since November 5th, 2022. So losing 17 at the end of the season to close out a season is never good, but obviously huge on them to get their first dub of this year and get that monkey off their back. So it's only, you know what, 23 more to go, and let's see what they got in store. But two much improved teams there, by the way. Delhi and Alvinston, both much improved, and great to see them put out a shootout clinic. That was pretty unbelievable, to be honest. But yeah, like I say, a lot of great hockey all the way around. Stratford getting a dub, getting a victory in their first game. Elora dropping their first game of the season, not ideal. Dunnville losing to the defending champs. You had Petrolia losing to Tillsonburg in a tight one there. Great hockey, though. And then obviously the Strathroy Jets continue to roll, winning 2 over the weekend. So both against the Elora Rocks and the Woodstock Lakers. So, tough opponents there, but coming out with a couple of victories, and we'll see if they can't keep it rolling. Game of the week this weekend is Petrolia and Strathroy Friday night. It's going to be unbelievable to see those two teams tangle. Should be a good one there. But yeah, guys, let's throw up some graphics here, get you caught up on our standings update. As we've mentioned, the Mighty Expedite WOSHL standings. You have the Strathroy Jets at 3-0. Not a bad start right there. 2 points better than the Petrolia Squires, who are 2-1. You have the Delhi Flames 1-0, Stratford 1-0, Tillsonburg 1-0, Tilbury 1-1, Dunnville falling to 1-1. You have Elora and Alvinston still looking for first victories. The Orangeville Blitz 0-2, and the Lakers 0-3. Moving on, we have our league leaders in points. Again, dominated mostly by Petrolia Squires players here, given the fact they've scored 23 so far this season. You have Ryan Troche, Corey Pauly, both with 8. Pauly with 5 goals, 3 assists. Ryan Frazier with 7 points. Brandon Biggers, Craig Wright, both with 6. They're joined by Strathroy Jet forward Kobe Ferreira, who continues his hot pace out of the gate. He has 6 points. And Justin McIntyre of the Jets with 3 goals and 2 assists for 5. It's a real logjam at 4. A lot of players here. Brennan Thesey with 3 goals and an assist for Alvinston in the loss. Chris Donnelly, a goal, 3 assists for 4 points. Adam Arsenault has 2 and 2 and 4. In 3 games played, TJ Harris, 4 points and 3. Brendan Merritt, 4 points in the only game he played. He missed both over the weekend. Dylan Denemy of Tilbury, 4 assists so far for Denemy. Would love to get on the score sheet with a goal there, but the season's still young. And then continues on from there. But great to see the scoring is plenty so far this season. However, the goaltending hasn't been too shabby either. We have Evan DeBrouwer, who starts at 2-0 for the Jets. Brandon Campbell 1-1, Jesse Schumann 1-1. Sean Parker getting a W for the Petrolia Squires. Ron Polidori on the board there with a win. Darren Smith, Matt Sagrot, Brant Galbraith of the Strathroy Jets gets an appearance there from on the back-to-back. He gets a victory for the Jets. Cody Odvashar gets a victory for the Delhi Flames. He was unbelievable in the third period for the Flames to get them to that victory. One that hasn't been so lucky is Ben Edwards of the Woodstock Lakers, who is 0-2. He's appeared in all 3 games that the Lakers have played, and he surrendered 15 goals, played 160 minutes, more minutes than any other goaltender so far in the WOSHL League this season. And then we skip from there, guys, to our schedule here. And let's take a look at some of the action, because it is a jam-packed weekend, and there are a lot of juicy matchups here. We get it started on Friday, October the 13th, a couple of 8:30 games. The one to watch here is the Jets and the Squires. That'll be a really good matchup. Jets 3-0, Petrolia 2-1. That one at 8:30 at the Greenwood Rec Center. If you want to watch a game live on Sportfeed, check out the Elora Rocks in their home opener. They go up against the Orangeville Blitz, who are looking for their first victory. So is Elora, who drop one against the Jets last weekend, and they're hoping to get a victory in their home opener or when they tangle with the Blitz. CW Sportsplex in Fergus is where to find that one. Switching over to Saturday, October the 14th, 5 games on the schedule. It's jam-packed there. A little spread out here, so you can definitely tune in live on Sportfeed. You have the Dunnville Arrows traveling to Alvinston to take on the Killer Bees. Dunnville 1-1, Alvinston 0-1. Killer Bees home opener at the BAICC complex. That one should get underway about 6:30, 6:45. Strathroy Jets then travel to Tilbury to take on the Bluebirds. That'll be an excellent game as well. Two teams that every time they hook up, it's always a good matchup there. 7:30, Tilbury Memorial Arena. The Tillsonburg Thunder then travel to the Woodstock Lakers, to the Southwood Arena, rather, to face the Lakers. 7:45, the puck drop there. Thunder 1-0, Woodstock looking for their first victory, 0-3. Like I said, gets underway 7:45. At 8 o'clock, we got a pair of games. It's the Laura Rocks traveling to Delhi to take on the Delhi Flames. We'll see what the Delhi Flames have for an encore after notching a victory last week over the Killer Bees. Alora, obviously, having played the night before at home, get to travel to Delhi to take on the Flames. And then our final game of the weekend takes place in Orangeville at the Alder Arena. It's the Orangeville Blitz and the Petrolia Squires. Should be a good one out in Orangeville at the Alder Arena. So, yeah, guys, a lot of great matchups there. Which one do you like the most? I mean, you know what? Take your pick, really. It's anybody's game, but should be a great weekend all across the board. I want to take a look at our 3 stars real quick from this past week in the WOSHL League. So right away, Chris Donnelly, unbelievable. You know what? Part of it's the player, part of it's the team. Delhi finally getting a dub, and you know what? Good on him. But Chris Donnelly led the charge. Goal, 3 assists, 4 points. Good for him, and a good victory for the Flames. Brendan Thesey in the Lost. You know what? Newcomer to the team, and he was dynamite. 3 goals and an assist for 4 points, and a loss against the Flames for the Killer Bees. And great to see him up there, and great to see him get rewarded with a 2nd star nomination. Our 3rd star is unheralded player from the Tilbury Bluebirds, number 61, Eric Winter. He gets the hat trick in the game. And you know what? For a guy who is about as rough and tough and grinder as it gets, good to see him get the hat trick in this one. And you know what? He's one of those guys, he's just as good on the ice as he is off the ice. Just an absolute beauty, and good to see him get the hat trick in that one. And then WOSHL Hockey announcing their power rankings for the first time this season. First in the power rankings is the Jets, followed by the Squires. Delhi 3rd, Stratford 4th, Tillsonburg 5th, Tilbury 6th, Dunnville 7, Alora 8. You have Alvinston in 9, Orangeville in 10, and the Woodstock Lakers are in the number 11 spot. Now, again, this will change week to week based on teams and how they do and where they go from here. But you know what? I expect a lot of jockeying for position. The great thing is that you see that this league is improving year after year after year. We're in year 3 now. The competition is getting better. The talent on the ice is definitely better. And you could tell with the team chemistry as well. Now, granted, Petrolia, obviously, they have a lot of years of experience under their belts, and that's why they've scored so many goals. But I don't think anybody saw this coming. I mean, let's be real. But great to see, and you know what? They're going to definitely make some noise throughout the rest of the season. I don't think this start is flash in the pan. I think they're for real. And the Jets, I mean, you can't give enough credit to the Strathroy Jets and that organization. 3-0 to start with a new goaltending duo. I mean, no Josh Diamond anymore, and here steps Evan DeBrouwer and Brant Galbraith, and 3 victories in 3 games. Unbelievable start for them. And you know what? Another thing that made news actually this past week was the signing of Ty McGinn for the Alora Rocks. Yes, Ty McGinn, if you don't know who that is, look him up. He is a former NHLer, and if you can believe it, we'll see what he's got in store for this Alora Rocks team who just loaded up again. You know what? Between him and Charlie Stevens, if Charlie Stevens gets into a lot of games, if they get in at the same time and they're on the ice together at the same time, watch out WOSHL. That's all I'll say about that. But you know what? Very exciting stuff anyways from WOSHL, making headlines like always, like we love to do. But yeah, guys, it's going to be a great weekend, and looking forward to getting the action started. But as far as the podcast goes, we got 2 incredible guests on this week's edition of the podcast. It's the captaincy edition. And we got Chris Donnelly, the captain of the Delhi Flames, coming up here next, and then followed by Dylan Denemy of the Tilbury Bluebirds. So enjoy my sit down and in conversation with those 2 gentlemen. Okay, folks, here on the WOSHL podcast, we're in conversation. And as always, we're joined by a very special guest. And this one definitely fits the bill of that. Good friend of the show. We have a really good friendship and proud to call him a friend of mine. Captain of the Delhi Flames, Chris Donnelly, joins us. Chris, it's great to have you on here. Welcome to the podcast. And thanks a lot for coming on and doing this.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure to speak to you.
Absolutely. I couldn't have said it better myself. First of all, congratulations on the W, man. Like, that was so huge for you guys. A 9-7 win over Alvinston to kick off your season. First win in a long time. We mentioned a couple times, before we started here. First victory since November 5th, 2022. Obviously, losing 17 to finish the season is never good, but the preseason win against Dunnville and this obviously season opening win and home opener win, such a big victory. Can you take us through it?
Yeah, just we're going into the game there. Obviously, we're going to our home opener. We want to win, and we always have a good crowd there, and we got good ownership and management, so we want to win that game for them. And we just worked hard, and I got to give them credit over in Alveston. They're a good hockey team too, but we just stuck to our game plan, and luckily it worked out for us. We put a couple goals up on the board.
Yeah, it was a wild game. Like, I was watching a bit of it, and it looked like it was pretty fast paced. Looked like it was back and forth there. Definitely the second period where two teams combined for 11. Like, I guess as a player, like, what is the mindset in a game like that, and how do you guys keep your composure in a game that could have easily been 9-7 the other way?
Yeah, you just gotta, like, when they score a quick one on you, you just gotta kind of reset and just focus on what you can do and what you can do next. Not worry so much about what's in the past there. Just next face off, just try and bounce back, get the puck down in their zone, get some good time down there, and try to put the puck in the back of the net. And you want to battle for your goalie too, right? Because we're giving up 7. That's not on him. Like, we got to tighten it up a little bit.
Sure.
So that's kind of on us as well. So we kind of owe it to him to get down there and put the puck in their net and give him some support.
Yeah, and Cody played outstanding from what I was told. Really locked it down in the third period. I guess as a captain, this could be a dual question in a sense, but like, obviously your job is to keep those guys, ready to go, motivated, whatever you want to call it. But obviously there's got to be some encouragement to the goalie to say, hey, listen, you're doing great, man. Just keep us in it. We'll get you the next ones or however many we need, and we'll get you the victory.
Yeah, what I kept telling him every time I just go tell him in the change room. I don't really speak to him that much during the game because some goalies, don't really like to be spoken to like that during the game. But so the intermission there, I just tell him, just keep battling for us, buddy, and we're gonna battle for you, and hopefully we come out on the right side of this thing here. It's also like a group effort too, right? We got a lot of guys, like, just because I'm the captain, we got a lot of guys that help me lead on that team there. There's a lot of guys that don't have letters on their jerseys either too, that also take that role on, and they're vocal, and they go down, they go pick players up too when they're down. So it's a big team effort there.
Yeah, like, do you really notice that? Like, is that in a game like that, can that do wonders for a team, like, to really bring them together and show team harmony, team unity, whatever you want to call it?
Well, absolutely. It'll help galvanize your team too, right? If you can go through something like that and come out on the other side, I think that helps galvanize the team and bring everyone together, right? And puts that, it takes away doubt out of your mind, I think. I don't know if doubt's the right word, but I think that you just, you can believe, right? Like, you always have that sense of belief now.
Well, absolutely. And like I say, it's huge to get the first one, obviously the first victory out of the way so that there's no pressure there. Maybe there is, in a sense, though, to bring it back and do it again. And obviously it doesn't get any easier when you guys face a familiar foe in the Elora Rocks this Saturday in Delhi. Again, they're an opponent that you guys have had trouble with in the past. I guess from one game to the other, what's the message? Is it, status quo? Like, is it that simple? Like, what do you got? What are you expecting from them?
Yeah, I think we obviously got to tighten it up on defense because they're very talented down there. And I'm not taking it away from Alvis or anything like that. We know that they put up a lot of goals against us, Elora.
Sure.
But we know that we got to tighten it up. They play a good transition game. They don't have a weak link on that team. Like, they're very good. They're well coached. They're just a good team. You see their record. They've won a championship. They go deep in the playoffs all the time. They do comeback wins. They do it all, right? So, that being said too, we might want to maybe try and mimic their game a little bit through it and try and learn from these guys the way that they play, right?
Absolutely. And they're a good team to be able to do something like that on. Yeah. And again, like, obviously they're coming off a loss too in their season opening game against Strathroy Jets. So again, that they're obviously got a little bit extra motivation going into this one. which, and then they'll play the night before as well. So you catch them on the second of a back-to-back. What, I don't know if this, I don't know how to really word this question exactly, but do you notice a change from one year to the next? Like, have you noticed a change early on? I know it's still an early sample size, but does something feel different in the Delhi room?
Yeah, I'd say so. I think that like we just brought in some new blood, right? So like, last year, like you said, you lose 17 in a row. There has to be some changes made.
Of course.
And so like, we've brought like an influx of like new energy and some new people in there and some guys from other teams that not even this league, other teams all over the world that we brought in, and then they bring that winning pedigree, and then they have that vibe of them of just like, well, we can overcome this, we can do anything, we can score with anybody. And I think that that's given like new energy to like, even myself. Like you just feel like you just feel very motivated and you want to play for those kind of people. They're just happy, and like our ownership was it was good to see them when we won that game there. They were all happy, and that's also added motivation too. You want to win for those guys because everything they do for us, and we obviously played a little subpar last year, and which isn't very fair to them. So it's nice to do some good things for them, like get a win at home for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And, it's great. Obviously, like I say, the offense coming together in a big way by scoring 9. I mean, that's got to add a huge amount of confidence to your group, especially yourself. I mean, a lot of guys, they won't take so much credit upon themselves. They'll usually credit linemen, but a goal, 3 assists for you in the first game, like you had to be feeling good right from the get-go.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I mean, I think as a line, like, there's familiarity. I played with Colin Delat last year on a line, and I've known my other linemate, Luke St. Clair, there since he was a kid there, just with my sisters playing baseball and everything. So there's familiarity there. Those guys are both very good hockey players that I play with there, so I'm lucky enough to be with them, and we just gelled very good very quickly, and they definitely made it easy. Like just get open, give them the puck. They did the rest of it.
There you go. Hey, that's giving credit where credit is due. I love it. In terms of this season, would you say, like, how much importance, I guess, would you place on consistency and commitment? Those are 2 big things that can obviously make a team very successful. Like, what is it like? Are you preaching to these guys, like, or is that something that everyone pretty much understands?
Yeah, I think the coaching staff is also really preached on. I was like, that's very important. Like for us, we need to find our consistency, obviously. Like last year, we were so up and down. Like there'd be games that we lost 16-4. And I'm not taking anything away from last year. I'm not saying anything bad about anybody on that team last year. That was still our team. Like that was our team. Those guys, a lot of these guys are still on this team. But I think that we've all learned. We all have a year more experience. We've all gotten a little bit more comfortable in the league. But I think that definitely we need to find that consistency. And I think, we won 9-7, but I think that it goes to show you we still have a lot to learn. Because if we're winning 9-7, that's still, we're giving up way too many goals still, right? We got to help our goalie out and defend a little bit. But Alveston's very good in the offensive zone. They're very good. They're dangerous.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I mean, again, like you just got to be ready for everybody. I mean, that's the thing. I think on any given night in this league, that's what makes it so good, is that any team can beat any team on any given night if you have it that night. And if you don't, well, then you're going to get beat. Like it sometimes seems so simple, doesn't it?
Every team in the league has multiple scoring threats at all times that we got to watch out for at all times.
Well, it's great to see. It's great for the league. It's great as a league, visual, because, you love score. Like I love scoring, man. Like obviously not everybody does, because they'd like to keep it to a minimum, but at the same time, I mean, it's great to see offense. And, the goalies are so good too in this league that you're almost surprised sometimes.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so you guys played the preseason game against Dunnville. You faced them 4 times this year. Again, that's huge. Tillsonburg, you also play 4 times this year. Everybody else twice. Again, like when it comes to Dunnville and Petrolia, they're 2 new teams, right? Is there a sense of excitement with these guys coming in? Like, do you know much about them? Like, what is your take on the new teams?
I just the only thing I know about Dunnville is I watched them play there. I didn't play in that preseason game.
Okay.
But they play hard. Like they were coming at us there. I don't know how many guys are actually on their team because I haven't got to see them after that.
Right.
But they came at us hard. They're definitely going to be a team you got to show up and you got to go to work on, and you can't take them lightly, right? Or else they're going to beat us.
Right.
And then Petrolia, from what I could see, it looks like they're an offensive juggernaut. So we're definitely going to have to tighten it up when we play these guys.
Well, and that's what it's so fascinating to me, because they returned so many guys from last year, and they've been an organization for so long. So they're kind of a lot in a way like Alora and Tillsonburg were when they first came into this league, because they were already pre-established. I just find it so fascinating that team chemistry can really be that evident through 3 games. They have 23 goals for. I mean,
Absolutely.
granted, I mean, yeah, the offensive juggernaut, no question, but they get a little dose of reality by losing 5-3 to Tilsonburg in the second game of the weekend this past weekend. So we'll see what they do, but it's definitely exciting. So yeah, like we say, back to Saturday, another home game for you against the Elora Rocks. No easy task there. You were mentioning to me though, you got an event coming up before that. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so our team actually on Saturday, on that same day as the game, the 14th, our owner has set up for us to go and help out at a motocross park in Oshweekon.
Okay.
We're going to be there at 8 a.m. till just after noon, just helping out with the flags and doing whatever we can to help out there, just getting our team's presence out there, trying to get the word out there to try and get some new fans to come out and come watch us.
Super cool. And where can people find this? Like, is there a website
It's Eagles Nest Motocross Park in Oshweekon.
Okay, perfect. And what time you say? 8 a.m.
8 a.m. till just afternoon, I believe we're staying there because we do play that night. So
yeah, of course. And yeah, so Delhi Flames out in full force, helping out in the community and hoping to outreach to new fans. And then they play that night against the Elora Rocks, and the Delhi Flames 1-0 to start the year. And right now locking down that third spot in the standings. No big deal. Yeah, and our guest, Chris Donnelly, jumps into the top 10 scoring with a goal, 3 assists showing in game number 1, a victory over the Almaston Killer Bees 9-7. So yeah, Delhi and Elora, 8 o'clock this upcoming Friday at the Delhi Arena. We've been speaking to the captain, Chris Donnelly of the Delhi Flames. It's been a pleasure, dude. We'll make sure to catch up with you throughout the season. Thanks so much for coming on and doing this, and good luck on Saturday.
Yeah, thanks for having me, and thanks for doing everything you do for the league to get the word out there about our league. And I think you're doing a good job helping build it up.
All right, folks, WOSHL Podcast. We're back in conversation, and we're pleased to be joined by yet another captain on this week's episode of the podcast. Dylan Denemy of the Tilbury Bluebirds joins me. Dylan put up 50 points last year in 18 games played. He was an absolute monster, and he only continued that throughout the playoffs as well. Obviously didn't come up the way they ended up with a 7-game thriller heartbreak to the Thunder last year. But this year, 1-1, an upset loss, if you will, to Dunnville, and then they get right the ship against the Orangeville Blitz this past weekend. Dylan, it's great to have you on here, man. Thanks for coming and doing this, and welcome to another podcast.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. Anytime.
Yeah, so let's talk about the season so far. I mean, 1-1, probably not the most ideal start. But what are you seeing through the first 2 games?
Yeah, like we chatted about before, I'm not really basing our first 2 games off much. We're finally going to have a full lineup back this weekend with guys coming off suspension, and we got our police officer shift workers back in the fold on the back end for the weekend. And obviously it couldn't come at a better time because we're playing Strathroy, and they're obviously off to a hot start this year, and they were a hard team to beat last year. Or Strathroy, sorry. They were a hard team to beat last year.
You said that.
Okay.
Yeah, Strathroy 3-0 to start. They're obviously on a roll and feeling good and feeling confident coming into Tilbury. And you guys had a lot of great matchups last year. What do you expect from Saturday's Tilt?
I mean, I'm not sure how good they travel. I have a feeling it's better than last year, but if it is, like they have Mandarelli. Mando's a good buddy of mine. He's super underrated, very skilled. He's always seems to put the puck in the net. Depending on who else they have, if they have Baker going, guys like that, they're a good team, like through and through. They have really solid D-men, and their goalies are really good too. So we got to be on our game. We can't take any shifts off against those guys. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's kind of wild, actually. If you think about it, looking at the schedule, you guys open first 4 games are all at home. Like, that's kind of wild. No true tests of going on the road just yet. But like I say, it's important to start hot out of the gate. For the Jets, DeBrouwer's pretty good in net. He's looked solid so far this year. And Justin McIntyre's playing really well, number 19 over there. Couple guys to look out for. But you guys have been getting some success from a couple of new guys. Cole Butler, who wears number 20, and Sammy Banga, who's played on your line, has looked pretty solid as well. What are your take on those two guys, and how impressive have they been to play with?
Well, Butts, it was a guy that we wanted to get out for sure. He's a firecracker. He's not the biggest guy, but he will hit anybody in sight. Doesn't care who it is. He plays with a lot of jam, and I love it. That's something I thought that we were missing in that playoff series last year against Tilsonburg. Yeah, it went in 7, and I feel like we had him and a couple other guys that have that, and I feel like that's what's going to give us that championship edge going into this season. And he can put the puck in the net too. He's a skilled guy, but he is one of the hardest workers I've seen. And then there's not much you can't say about Sammy Banga. The guy's just getting back, so you'll start seeing even more and more from him in the upcoming weeks. I've known the guy since I was a kid. He's a year older than me. We always played Windsor, and then I actually played. I was a 16-year-old on LaSalle Vipers when he was a 17-year-old there. So I was a teammate with him in junior, and I played against him in university. And he's put up points everywhere he's gone. He's one of the best playmakers I've ever seen or played with. So I'm excited that to have him on my wing. That's for sure.
Yeah, like I say, being down there to watch you guys against Dunnville, like those two guys just stood out for me. They were on fire all night. It just seemed like they either had the puck or they were making something happen, but very, very impressive. And then I think, equally you could say that in the Orangeville game as well. When it comes down to it, like I know you guys obviously changed also some of the captaincy roles, if you will. Yourself is back as captain for his second season. Nick Tatro is an assistant this year, which is huge for him. And then you have Travis and Mitchell. Like, how important is the leadership group there? Like, obviously being the head of it, and how important is it in terms of your team success?
It's huge. I mean, Trav and Teals, those are two leaders on the ice and off the ice as well. And Tatro is just a guy that does a lot for the boys behind the scene. A lot of people don't know a lot of the stuff that he does, and he loves the guys, man. He'll do anything he can for them. It's another guy that works his ass off, and he doesn't take any shifts off, and he's really hard on himself, and he's a young guy, and he's a great kid, and he's a great leader too. So it's kind of a no-brainer there. We also have Mike McIntyre, who's gonna have some split some time at the A as well this year, because Ryan Cravatin's can't commit the full time like he did last year. Right. So he took a step back. But Mac, pro guy, he's been around, so it's not really a question of whether he can lead on the ice either. He's been around, so that's another guy that's good. But Nicky it's no question for Nicky. He's, like I said, one of the hardest workers too.
Yeah, like I really I liked Mike McIntyre's game in the playoffs last year. I thought he stepped it up huge, and I thought he was really noticeable in that Tilsonburg series. When it comes down to it too, I'd like look at the Orangeville game and you see the return of Travis Winkworth, who didn't play in the opener, but he had a big showing against Orangeville. I think he could probably be the fastest guy in WOSHL if you put him close. Like I don't think it would it?
No, it's not even close. He's the fastest player I've ever played with personally. Like
it's incredible.
There might be one guy that I played with in Georgia that's fast as him, but I don't even think like it's not even. I haven't seen anything like that.
Like it's crazy, honestly. Like the second the puck's on a stick, or even if he doesn't have it at all, he's just so fast, and it's just like blazing speed. I think he'd be fun to watch in a skills competition if they ever did something like that. I think he'd take it home every year. He'd be like a Paul Kariya type, or like a McDavid, or that guy from Detroit, Dylan Larkin. He's pretty fast. Yeah. But like it'd just be so incredible to see what kind of times he could put up. But I really like his game, and obviously for him, big showing against Orangeville. Another guy who had a big showing too, and guarantee loved every minute of this hat trick was Eric Winter. And again, he's such a beauty. Like I've talked to him a couple times. A very humble guy, but to see him get 3, that had to feel pretty good for him.
100%. Wentz is a great guy. He's one of the older guys on the team. Brings a lot of life experience, and he's like I said, he's just a great guy. Always shows up, doesn't say boo. He's got his teammates back. Has a little bit of sandpaper edge to him too that nobody really knows about, and he's there every game, every practice. He's got a family at home. He loves it, and the boys love him. He's a great guy, and not much more you can say about him. It was nice to see him get that on Saturday for sure.
Yeah, and like it's just huge, and obviously he earned every bit of that third star nomination for that hat trick. I mean, again, the guy's not going to get very many, maybe, but at the same time, he's as good as they get, and good to see him get rewarded with the hat trick there. But yeah, so let's talk about last year, and obviously going out in that 7-game thriller against Hilsenberg. You guys played super well in that series, and obviously deserved a better fate. I think most people watching would agree with that. I know the playoffs were tough, and even the end of the season was tough, especially for you, given the fact that you had a work commitment and you had to bounce back and forth. Was that tough mentally? Like, what was that for you to go through?
Yeah, it was like I was in Quebec. I had to do my training for the CBSA there, and that in itself was a pretty wild
stressful.
experience. Yeah, 4.5 months, and yeah, wasn't the best time, I'll say, and I think all my coworkers can attest to that. It sucks up there.
Right.
Hockey made it that much better, but it did suck not being able to get home for those last couple games. With the series on the line there,
Right.
definitely thought that could have made a difference. Obviously, and I just kind of felt like I let the boys down a bit, but at the end of the day, I had to do. It's my career, right? So
100%.
I thought the boys played they're fantastic, and like they left it all out there, and it did hurt me that much more though that I couldn't help them out there.
Hey man, you know what? At the end of the day, you do what you can do with what you got, and you give your best effort. And I thought you did, and I thought you had a hell of a season last year, and was really proud to see you get 50. And again, I'm just itching to see what you got for an encore. But through a couple games here, like you're on your way. When it comes down to it, Dylan, too, do you think there's maybe a little bit of pressure on you guys? Like you guys finished tops in the standings last year, had an unbelievable record in your first year in WOSHL. And again, I think like you don't want to say championship or bust because that's kind of ridiculous, I think, at this point. But like, is there higher expectations for the Bluebirds this year?
Yeah, I have higher expectations. Like other people might not want to say it, but I do. I hate losing. I'm a competitive guy. I think the guys will tell you that. That's how I lead the team as well. Like I hate losing. Like I hate it. Like it's
Yeah.
But like yeah, I last year left a sour taste in my mouth for sure. I know it left a sour taste in a lot of the guys' mouths. Especially Polidori coming back this year.
Yeah.
His text to me was revenge tour.
Nice. That's awesome.
So I know he's got a lot of proof, myself included. I think we have what it takes to go all the way this year. So,
well, like I say, I'm definitely excited to see what you guys got in year 2 because I think if year 1 was any indication, there was a lot of success there was a lot of highlights, a lot of razzle dazzle, a lot of firepower there. Like you guys were built properly to compete, and I love a team that does compete and doesn't roll over and can compete for 60 minutes. And I think you guys got that pedigree. In terms of the new additions, Dylan, what do you think of Dunnville and Petrolia having coming over to this league? I know you guys have seen Dunnville already. What's your initial thought there? And, next, I know you guys do play Petrolia on the 17th at the Greenwood Rec Center. That'll be good. I mean, Petrolia is off to a hot start as well.
Yeah, I knew Petrolia was going to be good. I played a lot against those guys in junior.
Okay.
I know a good handful of those guys. I know they've been playing together for the last 8 years.
Quite a while, right? It seems. Yeah. A lot of familiarity there.
kind of know that they were going to be a good team already, as you can tell by their first couple of games in the season. So that's no surprise there for me. I said that when as soon as I saw him come in the league. Dunville, I played with Curtis Longland at the university, so I've known longer for a while. Great guy, great family there. It's couldn't be better people running that organization there.
Absolutely.
I knew that they would be a good addition as well. Hardworking team. I knew that, and they like Longer's dad's the coach,
right?
So he knows the game as well. So I knew that they would be another good addition to the league. So not surprised by either team.
Yeah. No, absolutely. You know what? It's just going to be fun this year. I think the league is getting better in year 3. I think a lot, like pretty much every team, I think you could argue has improved. Delhi with a big victory over Alvinston 9-7. I mean, they're obviously improved. Alvinston's improved. I don't think anybody's a layup. I think any team can beat anybody on any given night. I mean, as a player, that's gotta be fun knowing that going in, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm not a big point night guy. I don't like the games where teams are blowing each other out type of thing.
Right.
I'm more of the I like the close net games. I feel like as a competitor, those games get you going a bit more. You know what I mean? So it's
absolutely.
And I am happy that there's more teams that got better this year as opposed to the opposite. And I think it's going to be a really fun year, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, we're excited to see what you got for an encore, Dylan, and what the Tilbury Bluebirds do come playoff time when you guys are right there in the thick of it again, as I imagine you will be. Strathroy Jets into Tilbury to take on the Tilbury Bluebirds this Saturday, October 14th, Tilbury Memorial Arena. We've been speaking with Captain Dylan Denemy of the Tilbury Bluebirds. Dylan, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on. You're welcome anytime. You know that. We'll definitely be talking throughout the course of the season. Thanks so much for doing this.
Awesome. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
Once again, I want to thank Chris Donnelly and Dylan Denemy for joining me on the podcast this week. And, it's great to have them on, and looking forward to catching up with them throughout the course of the season, as mentioned. But yeah, guys, one last look here at the schedule for this upcoming weekend. You have Friday, October the 13th, 2 8:30 games. Orangeville Blitz and the Elora Rocks. That's at the CW Sportsplex in Fergus. And then you have the Strathroy Jets and Petrolia Squires at the Greenwood Rec Center, 8:30 start. Saturday, October the 14th, Dunville at Alvinston at the BAICC Complex in Alvinston, Ontario. Strathroy Jets at the Tilbury Bluebirds, 7:30. Tillsonburg Thunder at the Woodstock Lakers, 7:45. You have the Elora Rocks at the Delhi Flames, 8 o'clock. And the Petrolia Squires at the Orangeville Blitz round out our weekend, also an 8 o'clock start from the Alder Arena. I am Andrew Rogers, the host of the WOSHL podcast, and we're sponsored by VMF Sportswear and Apparel. And guys, honestly, thank you very much for watching and tuning in and following along on socials. Great to see the following on the Facebook page there. Hopefully you guys are enjoying it so far. But I'm Andrew Rogers, the host, and continue to bring these WOSHL podcasts to you each and every Friday throughout the course of the season. Great to be with you guys once again. That'll do it for this episode, and we'll see you guys again next week. Take care, everyone. See you then.